Lumos! Hello everybody and welcome back to Marvelous Marauders. Today we are taking a closer look at one of the most beloved characters in the Harry Potter series, Ronald Billius Weasley. As Harry Potter's best friend and a key member of the Golden Trio, Ron plays an essential role in the story. But how does he measure up as a character? Let's find out. Before we get started, let me quickly explain how the rating system works so you know exactly how we're scoring him. We'll be evaluating Ron in 3 key categories: morality, likability, and character development. They're all going to be from scales of 1 to 5, and they're going to be whether he is purely good, purely evil, well liked by both characters in the book and the fandom, or completely hated by everybody. And then also how well written and complex his character is. Like I said, scales of 1 to 5. So once we've rated him, we take an average of the score for the final rating. So without further ado, let's jump in with Ronald Billius Weasley. First up, let's talk about Ron's morality. Unlike Harry, who often takes on the role of the noble hero, Ron is much more of an everyman, flawed, but ultimately good at heart. From the very beginning, Ron proved himself to be a loyal friend. In Sorcerer's Stone, he literally puts his life on the line during a life-size wizarding chess game, sacrificing himself so that Harry can move forward. Not me, not Hermione, you. That selflessness is a core part of his character. He doesn't have the same chosen one burden as Harry, but he still sticks by him through thick and thin, for the most part. In Chamber of Secrets, he risks expulsion to help Harry rescue his sister. Despite his deep fear of spiders, they go into the woods. And in Prisoner of Azkaban, even with a broken leg, he stands between Sirius Black, a known murderer that is just as bad as Voldemort to the wizarding world, and Harry, his best friend, willing to die to protect Harry. These moments showcase his courage and moral strength. But Ron isn't without his flaws. He's prone to jealousy, insecurity, and occasional cowardice. One of his biggest moral failings comes in the Deathly Hallows when he abandons Harry and Hermione. The stress of the Horcrux amplifies his worst traits, his feelings of inferiority, and his resentment and his frustration of always being in someone's shadow. But while this is a low point, what matters is that he returns, making amends and proving that he ultimately chooses friendship over fear. He stabs a locket. He comes in, pulls Harry out of the pond, and says, "Can I use this?" "Cool." Stabs the locket. No more Horcrux. Goodbye, Voldy. Ron also struggles with fairness. He sometimes belittles Hermione's activism for house elves, dismissing SPEW. And in Half-Blood Prince, his treatment of Lavender Brown is far from admirable. Dude, just say, "Hey, listen, I'm just not that into you. I want that Hermione girl." He strings her along out of insecurity and then cruelly ignores her when he loses interest. These flaws make him more human, but they also show that Ron isn't always the good guy in every situation. So, where does he land on the morality scale? Ron is fundamentally good, but he struggles with selfishness, jealousy, and insecurity. I mean, wouldn't you if you had hand-me-down everything and all of your brothers have already done everything you can do? However, he comes back to his better nature, and because of this, I'm giving Ron a 4 out of 5. He's not perfect, but his heart is in the right place. Now, let's talk about Ron's likability. He's one of the funniest characters in the series, with his dry humor and sarcastic remarks making him a fan favorite. He's much more likable in the books, because in the movies they kind of give all of his personality to Hermione, but he brings levity to even the darkest situations, which is a crucial part of why the trio works so well together. Ron is also deeply relatable. Unlike Harry who is famous and destined for greatness, or Hermione, who is naturally brilliant, Ron is just a normal guy. He struggles with being overshadowed by his older brothers. Even his sister kind of overshadows him at some points. His best friend, and that insecurity makes him feel real. And many fans connect with the feelings of being second best. But that same insecurity is also one of the reasons some fans dislike him. His jealousy of Harry in the Goblet of Fire feels unfair since Harry never wanted the fame, and his treatment of Hermione throughout the series, mocking her for her intelligence, taking forever to realize his feelings, can be frustrating for readers who feel she deserved so much better. Then there's the fact that Ron can sometimes be immature and insensitive. He makes fun of Luna Lovegood, dismisses Hermione's emotions, and has a tendency to sulk when things don't go his way. And of course, his abandonment in Deathly Hallows is a huge mark against his likability. Many fans found it hard to forgive him for that moment, especially since Hermione stayed. Despite his flaws, Ron is still a fan favorite for many. His humor, loyalty, and relatability make him an endearing character. But his occasional immaturity and jealousy keep him from being universally loved. So, for likability, I'm gonna give him a 3 out of 5. A beloved character, but not without his critics. And unfortunately, part of that is because of how he is portrayed in the movies. Nothing against Rupert Grint, but the way his character is written, it just kind of takes away his likability. Now let's talk about Ron's depth as a character. Is he well written, complex, and realistic? Absolutely. One of Ron's biggest strengths is that he isn't just a psychic. He has his own arc. He starts as an insecure boy living in his brother's and even sister's shadows, but over time he proves himself as a capable wizard and a loyal friend. His biggest struggle is self-worth. He doesn't believe he's as important as Harry or as smart as Hermione, and that insecurity drives many of his mistakes. But by the end of the series, he's learned to see his own value. What makes Ron's character so compelling is that he grows. He isn't the same person in Deathly Hallows as he is in Sorcerer's Stone. We do see hints of him in Sorcerer's Stone, but we don't see his full potential until Deathly Hallows. He learns from his mistakes, overcomes his jealousy, and proves his bravery, not just in battle, but in being vulnerable enough to admit he was wrong. Ron's humor is another key part of what makes him feel real. He reacts to situations like an actual teenager would, sometimes with wit, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with fear. That authenticity is why he stands out as a character. But one of the biggest criticisms of Ron's character is that the movies watered him down. Many of his best moments, like standing up for Hermione against Snape or figuring out how to enter the Chamber of Secrets, were given to other characters in the films. This has led some fans to underestimate how important and well-developed he actually is in the books. So where does Ron land in terms of character depth? He's well-written, realistic, and experiences genuine growth. Because of that, I'm going to give him a 4. So, the final rating calculation, we just have to average all the scores out. And here's where we stand. Morality, 4. Likability, 3. Character, 4. So we're going to average that out and it's going to be 4. So Ron's final rating is a 4 out of 5. A character who's flawed but good, funny but sometimes frustrating, and deeply realistic. He's a fantastic character, even if he doesn't always get the credit he deserves. So, what do you think? Do you agree with my rating? Or would you rank Ron differently? Lower? Higher? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more character ratings in the future. Knox.